Hey ladies, so we are talking about engagement photos in this section. They are going to be done relatively soon in the process, and they're going to need to be done relatively soon because I guarantee you, you are going to want to use your engagement photos for many different occasions and reasons. So what do I mean? Well, of course, your engagement photos are used on the save the dates. Generally speaking, we didn't even have enough time to get our engagement photos done before we sent out our save the dates, so we were an exception because we had a fast, speedy engagement. But if you have a longer engagement, normally your engagement photos will be put on the save the dates. So you can also use engagement photos at your bridal shower. It is so fun to display your engagement photos for all your family and friends to see that are at your bridal shower. And you can possibly use these engagement photos even on your wedding invitation. So it's good to have these done early enough in the process so you can use them. So some tips I have for you regarding engagement photos. Some photographers actually have special packages where if you purchase their package and choose them to be the photographer for your wedding, they throw in additional bonuses, including an engagement photo shoot. So some photographers have special discounts on those engagement packages. They may even be free engagement packages for choosing that photographer as your photographer for your wedding. So ask your photographer about this and see if there is some special discount that you can get for your engagement photos, or if they just have a bonus for you for going with them. So engagement photos aren't like an all-day photo shoot. Normally they are 1 to 3 outfits. So 3 outfits each maximum normally is what will happen. You can get these engagement photos done relatively soon and relatively fast. So make sure you schedule them soon enough. That way you can get the photos back after the photographer has time to edit them for you to be able to use on your save the dates. Make sure you get a release form as well so you have the rights legally to the pictures, and that is important. That way you can get them printed as well down the road. Also, schedule them. It's hard to say exactly because everyone's engagement length is different. So for example, for James and I, we planned our whole wedding in 5 months. So we didn't even have the 6-month normal courtesy to send out save the dates before the wedding. So we used a photo from our engagement night from the proposal in front of the Cinderella carriage as the photo for our save the dates. So if you have a longer engagement though, and you can hit that 6-month mark where you normally send out the save the dates, then totally use your engagement photos. They will be beautiful. You can also share all of your engagement photos on your wedding website for everyone to see. So that is another reason to have them done. So you will roughly mail your save the dates out around 6 months out before the wedding. But if you're having a destination wedding where it's out of the country, international, lots of traveling will be involved, I would send your save the date out about 12 months before the wedding because people are going to have time to plan ahead for this. They may have to ask off work. They'll have to save up money for it. A further in advance notice is much appreciated for your guests. So for engagement photos, it depends on what location you're using. Some people like to go into wide open fields where there are hills in the background and you can see the sunset. Just be aware, if you choose a location like that, you may not have anywhere to change. AKA you'll be changing in the back seat of a car or holding up a towel, or trying to make sure cars don't see you as you're changing outfits. So a great idea I have for you is a changing pop-up tent. Oh yes, I have one. It comes in handy. You can take it with you to the beach. So this is something you can reuse. But being able to pop it up, it's super simple and it affords you privacy and then it just pops back down. It's very easy to transport. So this is something that's relatively cheap that would be a good idea if you're going to be out in the open and don't want to be changing in front of people that might have people around, that you just want more privacy. But also, if you just are in the middle of a busy city and there's no bathroom around, pop up this tent. That way you have privacy and you're not changing in the backseat of a car. So for engagement photos, since you're maybe not used to the photo shoot life, I will give you some tips. So as it does take time to take pictures, you may start getting sweat on your face, so make sure you're applying powder, reapplying powder. Reapply lipstick, brush your hair out. You don't want your hair to look super knotty. You want it to look like flowing curls or flowing hair that looks healthy. So just be aware, like you may or may not have someone helping you with your makeup and hair. Sometimes it is just the photographer and they may be helping and watching for things like that, but take things into consideration and be proactive. So bring a mirror with you and bring your powder and your makeup and your brush. That way you can brush out your hair or reapply powder between outfits, especially if it is humid. And that is my next point. If you are having your engagement photos taken in the summer, be aware that you can get very sweaty and there is humidity that you have to deal with. So if your hair falls flat like mine because it's naturally straight, you're gonna either have to pack on the hairspray or just be okay with really loose curls, or have a hairstyle like a ponytail or a bun or a braid or something like that. So I don't suggest doing your engagement photos in the middle of the afternoon. That is too hot, and oftentimes the sun's lighting is too harsh for photos, and you end up getting the best lighting for photos in the early morning or around sunset, which is called golden hour. So I also suggest finding locations for your engagement photos that represent you. Like if you are not a city person, then don't have your photos taken in the middle of a city. If you are not a country person and you are a city girl to the heart, then maybe don't find an open field to have your engagement photos taken in. So you're like, well, what other options are there? James and I, we did something, and I love our engagement photos because they totally represent us. So our engagement photos were taken in two locations. The first was at El Matador Beach in Malibu, California. Now that beach held meaning for me because at 19 years old, when I moved out to California for the first time, I went to that beach all the time, and I prayed for my future husband, and I read my Bible at the beach, and I would watch couples getting their engagement photos taken almost every time I went to the beach. Like, I pretty much believe that that beach was created by God for engagement photos because that's how often they're taken there. So anyway, it was so special getting our engagement photos taken at that beach because I spent countless hours sitting on that beach as a 19-year-old praying for my spouse. And here I got to have my engagement photos taken in the exact place where I had spent all that time praying for James without knowing who he was. It was also special getting engagement photos taken on a skyscraper in downtown Los Angeles. So we were on the rooftop. It was so awesome, and it definitely represented us because James had lived in California for 15 years roughly, and I had fallen in love with California. Ever since I was 9 years old, I dreamt about living in California. So it stole my heart. I had a lot of awesome memories made in California. So just to have our photos taken in that state and in that city alone really represented us. And it was just fun because we both loved the city and it meant a lot to us. So the LA rooftop skyline option was so fun. So if you are wanting ideas of like what are poses you can do for engagement photos, or what type of outfits do you wear for engagement photos, there are so many awesome options on Google Images or Pinterest that you can look at, and everyone is different. Your engagement photos, you need to make sure they represent you two as a couple. You don't have to make them look like everyone else out there. You can have your engagement photos be very casual or you can be very formal. It depends on what you are going for your engagement photo look. And those are the basics about the engagement photos. So I will talk about this a little bit later, but here is our save the date, which obviously was a photo from our proposal. But then this was an engagement photo that we ended up using on our wedding invitation, as well as another one on the back of the wedding invitation. So it is awesome to get great engagement photos that you love, because yes, I have engagement photos displayed around our house now that we're married too, so they turn into great decorations. Hopefully this gives you a little bit of extra advice regarding engagement photos, and if you haven't gotten them scheduled already, make sure you get them scheduled, because you will want them done plenty far in advance for you to be able to incorporate into your save the dates.